Welcome back, horror junkies. This is Popcorn on the Macabre, and you're listening to Dick and
the Chad.
And we're gonna watch a classic as hell movie, and it's from 1985. It's called Re-Animator.
Yep, I remember watching this with you. I think, sad to say, I didn't see this until way later in life.
That's just a crying shame.
When we went on our H.P. Lovecraft binge.
We did. We went through a phase where, like, I think it was right when Scream Factory was doing all these. Like, they had just started doing. They did Re-Animator. They did From Beyond, Dagon.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't think that was Scream Factory though. I think that was.
Yeah, we just went through it, and then we watched.
That was Vestron.
We even watched Castle Freak.
Yeah, Castle Freak. Yeah. Which I don't know who put that one out. I think that was Full Moon, but you know. But anyway, we did kind of go through a phase, a Stuart Gordon phase, I guess. It was like a Stuart Gordon H.P. Lovecraft phase, because he's done so many of these adaptations. Like, I'd have to say he's the H.P. Lovecraft king. Like, as far as like adapting his works,
they're crazy,
and they're not even like all the way faithful,
right.
But they're good though. Like, they're just good stories.
They're crazy. They're really far out.
Yeah, like he adds all the nudity and shit to them, and just, you know, the shit that we like to watch.
The shit that matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you guys have the Arrow version of this movie, that's the one we're watching. Of course, I think there was other editions like Anchor Bay and shit, but but to let you guys know, this is the unrated version, because there's a version that I think runs a little shorter than this one.
You know what that was cut out?
Oh, yeah. And I suppose we can talk about that along the way, because this one, I believe...
Get it started.
Yeah, might as well. I'm on the menu right now, and I'm going to play this motherfucker in 3, 2, 1, now. And, yeah, this is definitely... this may be the 93-minute version. I may be getting the time wrong, but I do know that it's the unrated, because... when I saw this when I was a kid,
right,
it was truncated. It was cut.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was stuff that was cut out of it. Like, it was. Was
there a lot of gore to do with Dr. Hill's head and shit?
Yeah, it had to do with the gore. It had to do with the nudity. Because I remember, like, I mean, I'm going back kind of a long ways here, right. but I remember when
you said you loved this as a child.
Oh yeah, totally. But when I rented it, it was the edited version. But then I bought a VHS of this later, and it was like the X-rated version.
Oh, so it was this version.
Yeah, yeah. Which it was pretty rare to find on VHS.
You still have it?
Maybe.
Or did you sell it?
I'd have to look.
Dude's like. He's just crazy. This is your typical mad scientist movie.
Yeah, this is Jeffrey Combs, like, doing his best work.
Yeah. Oh,
For those who don't know Jeffrey Combs, please look into his filmography, because he's fucking great.
Yeah. He's still doing things.
Oh yeah, and I like how this dude's name is Hans Gruber. You recognize that name?
Die Hard?
Yeah, yeah.
That guy's Hans Gruber?
Yeah, Dr. Hans Gruber. Should have been played by Alan Rickman. But see, yeah, this scene right here was cut short. Like, when his eyes exploded.
I could see it.
But what I'm having trouble remembering is whether or not I saw the unrated first.
Hold on. I like this line here. What does he say?
I gave him life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it kicks off into this sweet-ass, like, main theme that everybody knows was ripped off. I don't want to say ripped off, because I'm not trying to, like, discredit the dude, but Richard Band clearly got this from Bernard Herrmann's Psycho theme.
It's like you can, well, yeah. You can hear the familiarities.
Yeah, it's like, it's pretty derivative, but he made it his own.
Man, like I was telling you earlier, I like this Arrow version of this. It looks really good. And you
don't have this exact version, right?
I don't have your limited version with all the bells and whistles, but it's the same. It pretty much has the same graphics. It's just same image on the front of your box, but it's on a white case.
Yeah. starring Bruce Abbott and Barbara Crampton. Now, if you guys haven't heard, mainly Barbara Crampton. Well, we can talk about Bruce Abbott a little later, but
Yeah,
Barbara Crampton, she's the queen. And she's still doing shit. You know, her career was actually revived.
with the Gate movie.
It was
Beyond the Gates. Is that her in that?
it was around that time, but you remember she first made her comeback in 2011 with You're Next. Adam Wingard kind of brought her back.
No, I guess I didn't realize she was in it or even know.
Yeah.
Who was mom?
Yeah, she was like the mom character, the aunt, or, you know, but...
Man, that's sad. I didn't recognize him.
Robert A. Burns, art director.
Should I know him?
He was of course he was an art director, but he worked
You
on
don't say.
he worked on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what people know him from.
Okay.
And
So he did cool things.
he did. He actually worked on a lot of cool shit in the 80s.
Well, this movie's cool.
The Hills Have Eyes.
The sets in this movie are really cool. Mm-hmm. If they're even sets, they got to be sets. That
Yeah.
They're so. Was it the morgue in this freaking movie is huge.
Yeah, I think most of it was on a set. I mean, this is a pretty cheap movie, man. Like, I want to say it was less than $1 million. But yeah, I feel sorry for people who have not seen this movie because I grew up on this. This was great.
Do we ever realize what happened to him there in Germany or whatever? We don't learn how he got away with that, right?
Well, he was studying with Dr. Gruber.
And that's who he killed.
And then he pretty much finished all the work that he could finish.
So they didn't arrest him?
No. Okay. Because I guess there was no direct correlation, to him and the deaths.
Shit, if I was a cop and I walked in on that stuff, I'd be like, that's some mad science shit.
Yeah. But it was, he was probably getting grant money and shit. He was allowed to do that research. And it's clearly a reagent, so it brings people back to life. So it's like he's not necessarily killing people. Interesting story about this. See the fat-titted lady?
I was about to mention her.
Yeah, okay. I heard something about the lady who he's working on right there. She was a dildo enthusiast.
Oh,
yeah. And she was hiding dildos on the set, apparently.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I won't talk ill of her now and her tits.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
It's unusual.
Yeah, it's funny. Some fat lady just is a dildo enthusiast. And nowadays, if you did that shit on set, they'd bring in the fucking HR department.
Yeah.
She would clearly be fired.
Man, is the redhead nurse in anything?
Yeah, that is Stuart Gordon's wife. Her name is Carolyn Purdy Jones, I think.
Gordon.
Carolyn Purdy Gordon.
Yeah. Okay, because
she was in Dolls, Stuart Gordon's Dolls.
Because I recognize her, I just don't know what from.
Yeah, she was the evil stepmother character in Jaws.
Jaws.
Dolls. Did you remember the opening of Dolls, where it kind of if you remember much about Dolls, the way it opened up, it was like that real creepy fairy tale opening, and she was the scared little girl's wicked stepmother, and.
Keep telling me, dude. You're painting the picture for me.
Well, that's what I remember her from mostly. But she was. I always thought she was Stuart Gordon's sister, but it was his wife, and she's still kicking.
Well, I'd hope it's his wife.
Yeah, but Stuart Gordon's not here with us anymore, so it's kind of a depressing subject.
My bad. I put my foot in my mouth on that one, didn't I?
Well, Stuart Gordon. When did he die? He died like two.
No, fill me in, Matt.
I think it was like 2 years ago.
So he at least got to die before the whole 2020 shit. The world went to crap.
Exactly, yeah. And I think I was reading where he just kidneys were failing or something. He had multiple organ failure. But Stuart Gordon was fucking awesome. For those who don't know his work, please check out his. Of course, his H.P. Lovecraft shit is really good. Like this movie, this is obviously one of my favorite movies that Stuart Gordon ever did. Because right after this, he would go on to do From Beyond.
I like From Beyond. You showed me that movie and I bought it immediately.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, dude. And Dolls, which is not an H.P. Lovecraft movie, but it's still fucking great. And a lot of people don't know this about Stuart Gordon, but he he like came up with the story for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Well, mind blown.
yeah. Him and Brian Usna, his producer.
Oh, wow. Hey, man, good for them.
Yeah. Look at Combs here, dude.
Oh, dude, he's
so studious.
Yeah, well, and he's wearing black, dude. He's so evil.
Yeah.
But you end up liking him.
You do.
But you're torn because, dude, this guy is put with him.
Well, you like him because he's charismatic, but you don't necessarily like
what he's doing.
Exactly. He's kind of a nefarious dude. Like, you can tell that if he was to do this across the world, he would let the power go to his head. He's that kind of guy, but he is admirable because of how smart he is.
He ruins everything in that guy's life.
Huh?
God, what's his name?
The main guy. Bruce Abbott.
Yeah, what was his character?
His character's name is Dan Cain.
Dan Cain.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Cain, but I wasn't 100% sold on it, man. I wasn't confident.
Yeah.
But dude, as we'll see, but dude, this guy's like a dark little leech.
He is. You can just see it in his eyes, dude. When I first saw this character, to be honest, I saw The Frighteners before I saw this movie.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, and it was, when did The Frighteners come out? When we were like...
Yeah, when I saw it. And I saw this whenever you showed it, probably at 30.
Yeah, I know. You saw this movie.
I remember the cover
late.
For this, though. These movies. My parents never, would let me.
I like how his address is 666 Darkmoor.
I would have never noticed that.
Yeah.
There she is.
Barbara Crampton.
Dude, he has everything going for him right now.
Yeah. Dude, Barbara Crampton is just like, I want her to be my wife.
Is she your favorite of the Scream Queen or that era?
I mean, she's up there. She's up there with Linnea Quigley. But see, Linnea Quigley's kind of like...
Barbara Crampton for me.
Well, yeah. See, Barbara Crampton's more wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
She played these real seductive characters. But see, Linnea Quigley always just played the titty girl. The girl who always just would just throw her titties out. But Barbara Crampton was you had to work for it,
When it cut over to the other side, that sheet was over her tit. When it was on the other side, it wasn't.
Continuity error.
But we get to see her tits right here.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? I have to commend her. She is very, very gorgeous.
Even to this day,
yeah.
She's still very hot, very attractive, very nice. I'm friends with her on FB, and
oh no,
yeah, and she's always just real positive. She kind of has that attitude that just fucking rubs off on you, and clearly makes your day better. And and we were talking earlier.
That's so fucked up. She's on the day you get your MD, I'll marry you.
Yeah. She's you got to prove that you're not a piece of shit.
Yeah, you got to get past this. Otherwise, I'm going to go find somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. She wants that money, dude, and that security.
So that goes against her real life persona that you're talking about?
Yeah. I don't know, though, man. I was reading some trivia on her recently, and she talks about how she likes real men. Mm-hmm. She likes a man of few words, and...
Okay, I don't have to talk.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I was with Barbara Crampton, I would not have to say a word. I would just be in awe.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm kind of simping over her right now, but she really is the cat's tits.
Aww. Well, the character in this movie is cute, adorable.
Yeah. And she's got that all-American name, Megan Halsey. I don't know. She's just she's a cutie. She's a fucking cutie in this movie. And she also...
she's the girl everybody wanted to date.
Yeah.
Oh, and then here's the Wolf Man.
Yeah. And the first thing I saw Barbara Crampton in, I don't think it was this movie. It may have been either Fraternity Vacation or Body Double. She had a small part in Body Double, and she was a murder victim or something. But she always played a character that was getting killed or somebody who was screaming. But she's clearly better than, a lot of the stuff she did in the early to mid-'80s. And I think Stuart Gordon...
everybody here, aren't they? Combs is classically trained, right?
He did come from theater, I think, yeah. Because he didn't really get into movies till he was in his early 30s.
He actually has family here in Arkansas. It's crazy.
You were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit. And then he was on Joe Bob not too long ago, and it was... And he's
a normal guy. He's such a normal dude, man.
You can't recognize him now. He doesn't look like, the image here. He's just lost kind of a lot of his hair. He just looks older.
Last time I saw him, dude, I think it's probably been like. Would you say he's bald now?
Yeah, almost, pretty much. Like, think about what was it? Would You Rather?
Yeah,
he was didn't he have kind of like a thinning comb over?
He did, yeah.
That was a crazy movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah, he still had his hair in that movie, but it
wasn't as luscious as that.
No,
that raven mane.
Yeah, no. But the last time I saw him in person was 2007, dude. So you got to think that was like what? Was that 14 years ago? If I'm doing my math right. But he was at that Full Moon Horror Convention, and it was funny because I went there with Austin, and he was bringing up like it was funny because Austin was asking him like what it was like to work with Michael J. Fox on The Frighteners, and you could tell Jeffrey Combs was like, I don't want to talk about Michael J. Fox, you fuck, but it was cool meeting him because he was so laid back that it made it easier for me to approach him.
Right.
And when I went up to him, I remember the first thing I asked him, I was like, dude, can you sign, of course I wanted his autograph, but I wanted him to put a message on the photo. And so I bought this like 8.5 by 11 photo of him, and it was him from this movie, and he was like working with Dr. Hill's severed head. And I told him to write "cat dead, details later." So
yeah, that's awesome.
So people will know that reference if they know this movie. But he thought it was amusing. He thought it was funny because nobody else clearly had asked for that message before. But
dude, this is such a pissing contest right here.
Yeah, where he starts breaking the pencil.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm gonna tell you how it is.
Yeah. Well, he clearly disagrees with him on brain activity, as far as like, I guess was it like the number of minutes after somebody dies?
Yeah.
Where their brain is active, because he knows for a fact that this dude's wrong. And I always like this guy too, this David Gale.
Kind of reminds me of like a tall, commanding character. Like, is it Christopher Lee?
Yeah, he's definitely got a Christopher Lee vibe. They actually approached Christopher Lee to play this role, and he turned it down.
Oh, that would have been cool, but I could totally see that. Like, I don't see him being as a decapitated head trying to eat out a chick.
I don't see it, but I'm not saying he wouldn't do a good job doing that.
I'm saying
it is hard to visualize.
Well, I think that's probably why he turned it down.
Maybe so.
Unless he wasn't as classy as I put him.
Yeah. That even this dude, I don't know if he knew about it. Surely he had to have known about it just from reading the script. But when he did that scene where he goes down on, where his severed head goes down on Barbara Crampton later, his wife divorced him over that shit. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know that until just recently, and I was like, fuck, dude, his marriage ended because of that epic scene.
Man.
Yeah, pretty crazy,
dude. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not.
No need to apologize for that. Damn, and I like the close up too.
Oh yeah, dude's all like, man, he stands there. How he's sitting, or not standing, he's sitting in that chair.
Yeah,
with his legs crossed. He's just like giving him the old stank eye.
Yeah, and he's like, Mr. West, I suggest you get a pen. Jeffrey Combs, this may not have been his debut. I think he did like maybe 2 movies before this. But he really, I mean, you might as well say that this is his debut because he makes such an impression.
Well, this movie, let's say, is really dramatic.
Yeah.
His performance is...
Yeah.
But he's so evil.
Yeah.
But you like him.
Yeah, and this movie does have a theatrical quality to it. Like, it's got... sorry, my phone made a noise. It's hard to describe because I will say it has a theatrical quality as far as like, normally when we talk about theatrical quality, we mean like over the top. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say this movie's over the top, but there's something like a real,
they're accented. There's accents
or
something.
It's like, because it's still underplayed, or it's still, I guess, nuanced as far as like how these performances are delivered. But it's the humor that runs through it. It's not like hit you in your face type of humor. It's like you have to pay close attention to the dialogue and understand the characters to relate to the humor. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
yeah,
surely you're.
I was just gonna say he's a mad scientist, so he's like crazy over the top, anyways.
Right. He's not like
Very
insanely over the
flamboyant.
top though. Like,
oh, dude,
it might be later on.
Dude, he's like, when he breaks that pencil, he's like,
yeah, yeah. But it's still subtle though. It's crazy because it's still subtle.
I just call it epic.
Well, you know how he was in, just to make a comparison, you know how he was in The Frighteners. Like, that was really over the top. This is kind of, I don't even want to call it over the top, but I would just say, yeah, theatrical. Like, but still subtle. It's like intense. I guess intense would be a good word.
Yep, I said dramatic. Intense is,
yeah,
I guess, more of the...
Exactly.
Yeah, he's wired. He's got that success. He knows he's right. He wants to keep going, so he's like...
Yeah.
Thinks he's better than everybody.
It's almost, yeah. See how they're like looking at each other?
Well, yeah, he wants to fuck her.
Yeah, but you can see like the performances through these people's eyes. Like, you can kind of see what's going on in their mind.
In their mind.
Well, yeah, it's like, are you making fun of me?
No. Hold on, I gotta take a shit. No, wait. Did I just say a shit eye?
I hope you don't have to take a shit and leave me here by myself.
Well, I think I said shit eye. It's like a shot, but it's just shit.
Take you a shot.
Shit, man.
But yeah, it is kind of like their performances are a little understated, but it's played perfectly though, because sometimes the less you say and express,
It
the
works.
better. Yeah. Because this dude has got like a soap opera thing going on, but it's not cheap. It's not cheesy.
He's the stud.
Yeah.
He's the bull.
Yeah. And it's like, if they did go over the top, I don't think Stuart Gordon would have been a fan of it, because I was reading where he tried to do like a crying scene, and Stuart Gordon was like, no, that's too much. It's too much. But it's like, he gets that perfect amount of a dramatic performance. It's like he squeezes just enough out of those actors, and then he's like, okay, now dial it back.
Well,
it takes a good director to do that shit.
Well, I think it's just mainly with Combs, to be honest. I think it's his character. These people play it like it goes based off a scene,
Combs,
I guess, or atmosphere.
Yeah.
But Combs, it's his character.
He's definitely the best. It's like they're bouncing off him. You know what I mean? Like, they're all playing off him.
He steals the show.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
Well, he's the star. And I think he knew it at the time, too. I think he was like, I'm the dude that's going to drive this narrative.
Do you think if you ask somebody like our age or your age that grew up watching this movie, who defines the image of a mad scientist, they would probably go to Jeffrey Combs in this movie? Or
Probably.
Is there a more iconic mad scientist?
I can't think of any right now, but like, I will say that Jeffrey Combs, if somebody was to come up to me and be like, who would you include on like your Mount Rushmore of mad scientist types, I don't know. But like, you think about Christopher Lee, and you think about Vincent Price, you think about Bela Lugosi, or like Lon Chaney. You think about but those are like old people.
Yeah,
like,
they're out of my.
They're like
my
from
day.
From like the classic era. I would include Robert Englund and Jeffrey Combs in with those guys, because they to me, they are part of like this,
What, Robert Englund as a mad scientist?
Well, just the kind of actor that Jeffrey Combs is. Like, you know how they started...
Yeah, their style.
Yeah.
Or their theatrical
like
training.
Outside of Freddy Krueger, remember how they started using Robert Englund for roles like that, where...
no, that's new.
Yeah, he'd have like a quick cameo on something. Because Jeffrey Combs, honestly, he kind of started doing that.
I'm going to need you to say it. Here it is.
What? Oh, cat dead, details later.
Well,
it's one of the best lines, dude.
I was hoping you would save it until the freaking thing.
Yeah, I know, because it's not actually right here. But supposedly, I don't know how true.
How much of this movie could you quote?
Only the memorable lines.
There's a lot, right?
I mean, there's some good lines in here.
I feel
Supposedly,
like
that's a real cat. I don't know if that's true or not, but
maybe a real dead cat.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that looks like those that we did in like 10th grade.
Right.
A little formaldehyde.
I think yeah.
Dude looks so different in part 2. His hair so much like more glorious.
Oh, the Dan Kane guy. Yeah.
Kane.
You know, he was married to Linda Hamilton from,
Terminator?
Sarah Connor, yeah.
Oh, wow. I bet that was fun.
He was married to her. Yeah, now he's actually married to Kathleen Quinlan from, she was in that Kurt Russell movie Breakdown. She played his wife that got kidnapped by the truck driver, J.T. Walsh.
It's been a long.
You ever seen Breakdown?
I don't know.
We're going to have to watch Breakdown. We need to do a commentary on Breakdown, folks.
I don't know. He killed him, dude. She knows, like, dude, like,
he's just
look at that stare.
He's staring through her, man. Yeah, he would be intimidating.
Dude, he thought of everything. This dude he cares for no one.
No.
Except for him. I think they have this relationship that carries on into the second one.
He uses Dan, though. It's like he doesn't really care for him on a humanity level.
Right.
But he wants to use him, definitely. Because he knows he's smart. He's like, oh, Dan can be my assistant.
And Dan gets drawn into it because it's so... I mean, who wouldn't, to be completely
Right.
honest?
It's like you let the power go to your head, and you're like, ooh, I have the power to fucking bring people back to life.
Well, just the idea that you are able to, think of that or work on something. I think anybody.
Did you ever think about
It'd be a hard moral decision, I guess, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, and it is kind of a moral dilemma for Dan here, and I mean not for Herbert West, obviously, but. Right. But Dan kind of struggles with it throughout the movies, like
because
in 1 and 2, he's like
everybody around him's dying though.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was going to say is like, do you notice that there's like certain parallels between this and Pet Sematary?
I could see it kind of.
Yeah, because like the cat just died, and they bring the cat back, and then at the end when Barbara Crampton dies, he's like, I don't want to bring her back, but I'm going to see if this reagent works, and
Man. I do think if Barbara Crampton was in the second one, it'd be even better. I wish they wouldn't have
killed her.
Killed her.
Spoiler alert, people.
I mean...
But if you haven't seen this movie, you should not be listening to this commentary.
Yeah, I mean... And this is... Oh, the cat. He's hearing that cat running around, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is where he's like... This is where he starts to get interested.
Yeah.
Because he's pissed.
He's definitely... Yeah, but he's intrigued at the same time.
Yeah. It's his curiosity's peaked.
But you know what they say about curiosity? It killed the cat.
Does that need
Sorry, that was a retarded joke there. But I just had to say it.
I set you up for it.
You did. That was a perfect setup, too.
Yeah, it's
almost like we planned it.
Yeah, you were on the 50-yard line. I just bombed it to you. This I like
and... yeah, I remember this scene. I laughed my ass off when I saw this scene.
Well, it's interesting. Like, they're just beating and acting at an imaginary thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And moving as the light goes out of range, so the cat moves when you technically can't see. Right. It's kind of clever, but and
they're just using mainly the sounds of the cat.
Yeah. But right there at the beginning when he starts hitting all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there was clearly nothing there.
That's
what makes it comical, though.
Oh, no, what makes it comical is the explosion of a hit this cat's about to release. Just watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Where's it? It's going to happen. Come on.
They're totally building this.
Yeah, there you go. It knocks him clear across that room, dude.
Yeah, and I like how you see the little chunk of the cat fall off the wall there.
Yeah, dude just grabs that thing and throws it.
When I first saw this movie, dude, I remember thinking, like, am I supposed to be laughing at this? But
I would have probably been, like, gripping something.
Yeah.
That was fucked. Like, he's, like, fucking with
This is a memorable shot, too, when he's laughing and the lights kind of, like, bouncing off of him.
This is a really thing. Like, he's crazy.
He's sick, yeah.
Yeah, and he knows. You can tell by that he knows, but it's almost... Do you think maybe he thinks he can save him?
He's possessed by his genius. It almost seems like Dr. West has got some kind of allure over people. You know, because he is smart. He's like wicked fucking smart. And then Dan's like, dude, how do you do this shit? Like, you're crazy as fuck, but, you know, I want to know more. It is some kind of like supernatural pull he's got on him, but
yeah, I was just trying to think. At some point, he would have to think that like he'd have to break away, and like, why are you staying there?
Well, you know, it's almost kind of the same thing that happens with Dr. Hill. He wants to, he's curious about it, but of course he wants to get rid of Dr. West and take credit for all of his work.
Right.
But he kind of has that same draw to him. Like, how did this dude figure this shit out?
Yeah, well, it was Hans Gruber, man.
Yeah. Look how intense his fucking eyeballs are.
He's always got an intense face.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, like, it would be so intimidating to work with this dude. But, like, if you saw him in real life, which, like, I did at the convention, I was, like, really, like, relaxed. Because he was a normal guy. But it seems like as soon as he would get into character, it'd be hard to be around him. Like, it'd be hard to be on that level.
Dude, what if he brought it out in you?
He probably could. He seems like one of those method actors, you know, that could. But, you know, we were talking earlier about how he kind of like has, I'm not going to say he's followed the same trajectory as Robert Englund's career, but he did kind of like, remember in the late 90s, he kind of started fizzling out a little bit. He was doing like just cameos. Like he was in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer and like House on Haunted Hill. And he played like a security guard or something.
I wouldn't have known him in those.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in them for very long. He would just kind of like pop up, and then you were like, "Oh, there's fucking Herbert West."
So he went cameos.
He started doing a lot of cameos until like until they put him in Beyond Re-Animator, which was what 03 or something.
I haven't
like that.
seen that one.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's it doesn't actually follow any of the books. It's like they kind of went with their own narrative for that one.
He's like, why does it make that noise? Birth is painful.
Yeah, it's so epic.
Why can't it just be you've smashed this fucking cat's spine?
Yeah,
his nervous system's fucked.
Yeah. Oh, poor Barbara.
Yeah, I know, dude. She is a victim in this, man.
Oh, totally. Everybody's a victim of Herbert West. Oh, that building.
But it's him. If he could just cut ties with him, fucking everybody would be okay.
Yeah, here's another Terminator tie-in. That Miskatonic building, the building they're using for Miskatonic was the same building that they used in Terminator 2.
Where he's shooting the Gatling gun out the windows and the helicopter comes into it?
The Cyberdyne
I could totally
building.
see that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, you know how I was talking to you about your linking people in movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit me.
Barbara Crampton to Larry David.
To Larry fucking David? I wasn't expecting that one.
No.
Yeah, for those who don't know about this game, the Chatterer likes to stump me every now and then with...
try to.
Yeah, by linking two actors together.
In no less than 6.
Yeah, in 6 movies or less. And most of the time I get what? Like, I can do it in 4.
Mm.
And you did this one in 2.
Yeah, but it might be cheating. We'll see. I'm interested to see how you get it.
Okay, Larry David. I mean, that's actually probably pretty easy because he was in that movie that was kind of like a Curb Your Enthusiasm movie, Clear History.
Okay.
Man, you motherfucker. I'm going to have to, like, write that down because, like, my thoughts are so jumbled right now.
Well, just think about it. And
I definitely will.
And whenever you're ready to end it, I'll show you how I think I see the path. Yeah. But like I said, there may be like a little curveball in there, by the way. But I'm interested to hear your route, or if you figure the route. Dude, this guy right here, man. I wonder what he, the whole time he's just like, there's people going in and out of here. He's just chilling, reading his magazines, playing his.
It'd be a cool job. I used to hate the idea of being a security guard. Now, like, the older I get, I'm like, dude, that'd be a fucking badass job, man.
Yeah, as long as, like, well, I don't know about this one.
No.
I mean, it started off badass.
Isn't that West underneath there? Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, they're sneaking him
in there. Okay, I got to think about this this link here.
Oh man, it's like I can't.
Damn it. Because I'm sure it's like really easy.
Yeah.
But now, okay, is this counting Curb Your Enthusiasm or just movies? Because you got to specify that.
That might be the curve.
Well, Curb Your Enthusiasm had so many people on it, you know?
Right.
I'm going by movies.
Okay, well, no, it did use curve. But if you want to go by movies, I did.
Yeah,
I mean, you would astonish me even more.
Okay,
but could you do it using curve? In 2.
Yeah, but there was just there's like 20 seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and there's so many people that have done cameos on that
really fast.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Don't put all this pressure on me, man. Now you're really gonna jumble my brain.
Frighteners to Curb. Michael J. Fox.
Well, now hang on. Well, okay, all right, yeah.
Michael
J. Fox was on like he's on like one episode of Curb, man.
But still,
I mean that totally.
Works. That was a great episode.
Yeah,
that was a really funny episode.
I mean, yeah, that definitely works.
But it's not a movie,
right? But I could say. I could say, like, you could say, here's actually a good one. You could say that, oh, God, I'm struggling. I'll have to think about it.
You called me over here. I turned my head to look at you, and you
yeah, I got to think about it.
You edged me.
What scene are we on here?
They're looking for the body, but in this... They raised this naked dude here, right?
Well, this is when he starts doing it on humans, right?
And they put too much in him, right?
Yeah.
They're like, wait, it doesn't happen. And then this dude like gets a Hulk face and comes after him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of naked men in this movie.
Yeah. Stuart Gordon was, he liked the nudity.
Yeah, man, they're like stinking around. That dude is so like, he's like, man, this is pretty neat. Oh my gosh. But it's so wrong, but
yeah.
So groundbreaking at the same time.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much a zombie movie.
It is, yeah.
But
it's kind of zombie-ish, and it reminds me of The Evil Dead, kind of like with the same tone. But you know how The Evil Dead's not really a zombie movie, but it reminds you of one? This one is the same thing.
I don't want them to be zombies.
It does it with like cadavers.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say about Stuart Gordon. For those who didn't know about Stuart Gordon, he founded, he made his first movie when he was like 38. He was kind of late getting into film, but he did like theater and shit.
What was it? Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, this was his first movie.
First one?
So I think he would have been about 38 doing this movie. But he founded I think it's the Organic Theater Group in Chicago, and a lot of people don't know this, but he got David Mamet his start in playwriting. Like David Mamet got his start as a playwright because Stuart Gordon was putting on all these crazy shows in the theater, and he was getting like arrested like on obscenity charge for like obscenity. Like he would have like naked people performing on stage, and he'd get the whole like production shut down. But David Mamet's first play, which was like sexual perversity in Chicago or something, Stuart Gordon was responsible for putting that on. So a lot of people don't know that, Stuart Gordon pretty much got David Mamet started. And David Mamet's fucking legendary. So it's kind of cool. Because when Stuart Gordon died, David Mamet put out like a piece, like a blog. And it was cool reading about it because I had no idea that David Mamet owed a huge debt to Gordon. Because I always thought Gordon was like known just for horror shit, but he was real big in the Chicago scene, man. It was pretty cool to read about.
Dude, this guy's about to Hulk on him.
Yeah.
His face just gets all like, man,
Damn.
The amount of adrenaline that would be in you right there.
Yeah. Well, you'd have that anticipation of wanting to know whether or not some dead person was going to spring back to life, plus the anxiety of not knowing whether somebody's going to bust in on you.
Would you say this movie is a good example of amping up the plot?
Yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean...
It never really slows down.
No, and they... Like, for instance, this that's coming up, this scene here is amping it, man.
Mm-hmm. And even when it's not, like, ramping it up, it totally, like... It's increasing tension just through the dynamic of these guys because you know they're kind of, like, opposites. And they're always fighting with each other. This dude...
But, like, right here, you know, the dad's about to come in and get murdered. And it's like, they bring him back to life. It's like, well, fuck, where are you going to go from there now?
Yeah. He gets fucked up, too, man. The dad.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, this guy right here, I almost forgot. I think you saw his cock. Did we just see his cock?
I don't know.
But that is Arnold's fucking body double.
Really?
Another Terminator connection, man. This is Arnold's body double that was used. He was used in the Terminator movies, and
I could see it.
up until the 90s, I think he was Arnold's stunt double.
That'd be an impressive thing to have on the resume.
Yeah. I forget the dude's name. It was like Peter something.
So, is he the naked dude we saw when
Probably.
he comes down?
Probably, yeah. That fucking West.
Dude, what if that was Arnold playing
Like how he
this
just
role?
crushes him with the door, man.
Yeah. What if that was Arnold playing this role?
That would have been awesome.
And
And he just, as soon as he gets reanimated, he's just like,
yeah, that would be epic. Oh, dude, this, like, when I saw this, I was like, man, because at this point you're like, man, how's he gonna explain this to his girlfriend?
Right.
Because he pretty much got her dad killed.
yeah.
But
now
he gets
not
out with it.
He's not all the way dead, or no, he's pretty much like brain dead.
Yeah, they bring him back. They give him the shot.
They lobotomize him too, don't they?
Yeah, the other guy does.
Yeah. Because he thinks he's just like a mental case, right?
Right. He doesn't know that he's been reanimated.
Right.
But he realizes that after he gets reanimated.
That's such an epic shot when he's back there holding the bone saw and he's like, "Clear out of the way. I got this."
He's like, "Oh gosh, I gotta see how this is gonna turn out." Yeah.
Oh, fucking
That's
Arnold.
almost like in Total Recall at the end.
Yeah.
When he's getting
Fucking
sucked out.
eyes are all bugging out. Oh man, that's totally Arnold.
Yeah,
I can see him totally being his stunt double.
That's totally the ass from Terminator.
Yeah, that is the same
And
keister.
T2. Yeah.
It's a really good fucking movie, man.
He's like, look how sad he is when he says he heard you like an animal. He's like, no, he understood me. He's like, no, it was like an animal. He's like,
Yeah, he's like, man, just play along, damn it.
he's like, but I gotta get that dude been dead too long, so we gotta get somebody fresh. This dude's fresh. He just died. Let's inject him.
Yeah. Jeffrey man, this movie was like, it was really critically acclaimed.
Well, what was the budget? Do you know? Did that ever come out?
It was like 900,000, and I think it went on to gross like a little over 2 million.
It's impressive.
Yeah,
I wish I would have seen this as a kid. Like, I remember the case.
yeah.
I even remember the DVD case in Best Buy, and I still never bought it. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I saw this when I was real young, and I loved it.
That would have been amazing.
I loved it.
It would have been wild.
I want to say that if I remember correctly, I think the VHS version that I saw was uncut, and then whenever I bought the VHS, it was an edited version, because I remember seeing extra shit, and I was like, how come that scene is not right? And I remember the scene at the beginning where the dude's eyes fucking busted, exploded. Mm-hmm. And there was other shit too, like the part when Dr. Hill's head is going down on Barbara Crampton's puss. Like, that scene seemed to last longer. And but it was like a Christmas present or something. I think my mom bought me the tape, but it was it was the R-rated version, where the one that I originally rented, I believe, was the X-rated. And by the time this came out on DVD, I think it was the one from Elite Entertainment, and it was
The unrated.
It was the unrated, yeah. So all the scenes were put back in, and
Man,
she is almost fucking gorgeous, man.
She has like a young, that young mother look, like from the Spielberg movies and the Dee Wallace.
Oh, Dee Wallace, yeah.
She could be like that.
Yeah.
I just love, oh man.
Barbara Crampton, and do you remember her scene in Fraternity Vacation?
No, that one I've probably never seen.
Okay, well, Barbara Crampton had a scene in Fraternity Vacation. For any of you guys out there that know this movie,
year?
It was the same year as this, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
She plays like a college chick who gets like buck naked, and like Tim Robbins is in there and shit. And
wait, she gets buck naked and Tim Robbins is
Tim
in
Robbins,
her shit?
No, Tim Robbins is like straight up looking at her though. It's a good scene. I have to watch that movie again because I don't remember a lot of it. But Barbara Crampton got nude in that. And remember she had a small role in Puppet Master also in the first one.
No, I wouldn't remember her in that one.
Yeah, she was like, it was like a 5-minute thing, but little cameo from Barbara in Puppet Master.
She's got pretty eyes.
Yeah, she is just a bombshell. A knockout. She's a knockout dame.
Now,
a bodacious broad.
Is there a famous person in part 2 that plays like one of the orderlies or something in the hallway that is like Savini or somebody, or is that a different movie?
Tom Savini?
Or I don't know what I'm talking about.
In the second one? I need to revisit the second one.
It might be another movie where there's like people in a freaking hospital though. There's a lot of those. Or it was like Kane Hodder.
I don't
know. It's some bull. Daddy.
These actors are doing a really good job. Like, for a movie like this, you wouldn't think that these people would be this emotional. Or playing it up like this,
Dude is so smart, man. He has got everything
He's
covered.
got all the angles figured out, yeah. Yeah, he's good.
And he's dragging him down, man. That's why he's wearing black this whole fucking time.
I really liked him in The Frighteners, man. When he played Agent Milton
Once
Dammers.
again, is he not wearing black in that one, too?
He is, yeah. And I think that was the first thing I ever saw him in.
See, I saw Frighteners, and clearly before this one.
Yeah.
Frighteners was PG-13, so my parents let me.
Right.
It is PG, or is it R?
Yeah, no, it's R.
Okay,
yeah.
It's not a true R.
It doesn't feel like an R-rated movie, but it totally is. Yeah, The Frighteners seems like it's aimed at kids, but it's actually pretty sinister when you go back and revisit it.
Man, he's going through some serious shit right now.
Yeah, he's like having a major panic attack, getting the chills and shit.
Yeah, as he takes the tape recorder that the other guy had.
Yeah, exactly.
This dude, man.
Yeah.
He gets the award for most improved.
Yeah.
Like he goes from playing like this dean or something, right? And then now he's like, look at that, man, crazy. That'd be fun.
Yeah. You mean as far as how he switches his character
extreme,
drastically? Yeah.
Extreme.
He goes from this normal dean character, and then now he's like this maniac.
Do you think they hired that guy? They were looking for somebody, I guess, that tall. So he has menacing.
Yeah, they wrote this for Christopher Lee, but I guess when he turned it down, they got this guy who.
He's got the same stature.
It's kind of the same, bone structure and shit. And they put a toupee on him, which is weird because
I could see that. I didn't really. Now, okay.
It's weird because he had hair. But they told him to shave his head just so they could have him wear this piece. And I guess this reminded them of somebody like Christopher Lee. They wanted this type of character. But
right. Classic.
Yeah.
What, Hammer horror look.
Yeah, it seems like some, like a Roddy McDowall type. It
also reminds me a little bit of Frankenstein, that long drawn face, strong, skull line.
Yeah. Yeah, Bela Lugosi. Or no, that's not.
I don't know who fucking played Frankenstein. That's anything from that era and Hammer horror. I'm not real know a lot or even
well
seen.
Versed.
Yeah, can't tell you what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart.
That's all right. She's clearly devastated.
Poor Barbara. But yeah, this is like his chance to move in on her.
Oh yeah, it's probably where he gets her hair.
He gets her hair?
Yeah, I think later on they find a folder and it's got like her hair.
Oh, yeah,
and all
yeah.
kinds of shit of hers in it.
Yeah.
Dude's been creepering.
He's like, yeah, he's sniffing her hair and shit.
Yeah.
Seems like her dad
Dude's
pops
like,
up right here, a little
yeah.
jump scare.
Oof, way to give that one away.
Well, I almost forgot. And then when I saw this shot, I was like, oh yeah, I think he springs up right
Dude springs up and headbutts it. That would be our friend Joe, right? Like, remember he used to headbutt shit all the time?
He would totally play a role like this.
Yeah, and we'd have parties and he'd be headbutting fucking cabinets.
He would, dude. All you had to do was like dare him.
Yeah, hey Joe, go headbutt that cabinet.
Yeah, you didn't have to tell him you'd give him money or anything. You just dare him, and he
wouldn't even think twice.
You could just ask him. He would happily butt his head up against shit.
I feel like that was a little bit of like some Jurassic World.
These are like the orderlies from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh shit! I was seeing like Raptors and Chris Pratt.
Kind of reminds you of that.
Yeah, it was weird. He was all like, and they were all in front of him. But any which way, yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about Stuart Gordon, and have you seen? Has anybody seen? I'm gonna ask you first. I call it his unofficial trilogy. Stuart Gordon.
I don't know if we've talked about this.
Maybe not, but the early 2000s, Stuart Gordon did a movie called King of the Ants, and he did Edmund, and then he did, I think his last movie was Stuck with Mina Suvari. With those three movies, he made all back to back. Well, she just slapped the shit out of him.
Was King of Ants like on a construction site? Somebody being held on a construction site? I have seen that.
Okay.
And then
that's a really good
Stuck,
movie.
I'm pretty sure I've seen now. The second one.
Edmund with William H. Macy.
I don't know, maybe, but I watch a lot of Macy stuff too.
It's weird because they weren't horror, but they had like horror undertones. They were like these really dark dramas, and King of the Ants was the first one, and
that one was pretty neat.
It was good. It was about like what it was. The dude was a construction worker. He like painted houses, and George Wendt from Cheers, you know, the fat guy Norm, he hires him to kill somebody. He hires him to kill like some dude, and then they use him as a fallback guy, and they try to kill him, and it doesn't work out, and then he kills them. I can't remember. I need to go back and watch the movie.
Well,
it's
it had
real
something
weird.
to do with ants too, did actual real ants.
Yeah, it has something to do with some hallucinogenic vision that he has. I don't know, some psychedelic shit going on there.
There was something that happens at the end that was real crazy.
But I just remember really liking that movie. It's a dark drama. It's real grim, and it's real violent, but it's not like horror. It's not just straightforward horror like this.
Right.
And it's not even really tongue in cheek. Like, it's not funny. You know, it was just a good movie.
It's all around good.
And Edmund was based off a David Mamet play, or I know he wrote the script or something. That was good. William H. Macy does a good job in that. And then Stuck was with Mina Suvari, and that was the one about Mina Suvari. Like, she plays a nurse, and she hits a guy late one night. She's like drunk or she's on pills. She doesn't want to report to the cops because she'll lose everything, you know. And so she leaves the guy like on her car, and he's like stuck in the windshield.
Oh yeah, I have seen this.
Yeah, and like if he moves, then he'll all of his insides he'll die. You know, he'll get cut up. That's a good movie.
I totally forgot about that movie.
Yeah, that's good. That was Stuart Gordon's last movie.
I didn't even know that.
It was him, and doesn't Herbert West like cry here? I'm sorry, this is like I'm getting back into the movie, but it seems like
because his baby. He just told him, "I'm gonna take your baby."
Yeah, he like a tear. From what I remember, like a tear forms on his like.
Well, you can look at it. You can clearly see it's about to go over the edge.
Yeah.
But yeah, his baby, dude's taking his baby.
Yeah, he's crying. Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Such a really good scene. I like how he's like shrinking down.
Well, yeah, he almost like backed down, but
Yeah. He's like recoiling.
You can't trap him. You don't take anything from him. You don't threaten.
Yeah, it's a good performance because he's like recoiling. He's like kind of shrinking back and like he's like, okay, you got me.
But it's almost like, I don't know, is that not disbelief? I can't believe you're even doing this.
Right.
Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah. But yeah, for those who have not seen Stuart Gordon's last 3 movies, check them out because they're.
So, Would You Rather was before those?
Well, he didn't do that one.
Oh yeah, I'm getting that mixed up with Jeffrey
Combs. Yeah. That's such a good movie, though.
I totally forgot about that movie.
Jeffrey Combs is just really good in that, and I mean he steals the show in that movie too.
They freaking gave him a lobotomy to try to control him.
Mm-hmm. This guy. I remember, you just want this motherfucker to die. Like I remember when he hit him with the shovel. I was like, yes.
But dude, he gets really scary.
Dr. Hill.
Yeah, when he gets like his 15 minutes of absolute power.
Well, it's like his evil is intensified like times 1,000 once he becomes a headless corpse.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they brought this movie up in American Beauty?
No, fuck. I don't remember American Beauty very much.
Well, there was a scene where Wes Bentley's smoking weed with Kevin Spacey, and they're laughing outside, and he's like, man, he goes, what's that movie where the headless corpse like goes down on that babe, and he's like, oh, Re-Animator, and they start laughing. They're like high as shit, and it was a cool part.
Oh man.
Because at that time, nobody was making references to this movie. This movie was so hard to find for a while until it came out on DVD, you know?
See, he's like, I'll be famous.
Yeah, God, he hit the fuck out of him. This scene was cut short, too. The shovels where he...
I bet.
Yeah, where he, like, scrapes his head off.
Like, dude, this is good special effects.
Yeah.
Who? You know?
John Nolan did the special effects for this. And he
that
worked...
right there was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty clever shot to work on. Like, you don't see a lot of the head and the body there and actors flopping. Like, it's really effective way to do a beheading.
Yeah. The camera angle was just right for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is like really good black humor here.
Right. I guess this is where the comedy comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude don't give a shit about it.
No. And so many people were a fan of this movie when it came out. Like Roger Ebert liked this movie, and I was actually surprised to read that Pauline Kael liked this movie too. And Janet Maslin from the New York Times. I mean, it was pretty...
I've never even heard of those two.
They're older critics, but like, you know, around that time
You wouldn't have thought them.
You wouldn't have thought they'd like a movie like this, you know, but I think the humor worked for everybody for the most part. But you asked about the special effects guy. I know John Carl Buechler worked on this movie, which I've talked about him fucking ad nauseum. He was the director of Friday the 13th Part 7.
Okay.
But
well, you need to connect the names. Even though you talk to him, I'm horrible with names. So.
Yeah. I've just mentioned him a lot on several episodes.
Well, probably around this time, there was probably like a select few of people that were doing these kind of movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They all kind of work together, you know, like, because on one episode I was mentioning how John Carl Buechler worked a lot with Charles Band. And see, Charles Band around this time, before he created Full Moon Entertainment, he was working with Empire Pictures, which released this one, you know, Dolls. Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah, he's like, oh. But I think he underestimates the intelligence.
Yeah.
Dude is pissed.
Because at first he's like, I want to see if I can do parts.
Right. Well, and it's talking to him, and he's like, he's trying to decipher it. And dude's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. He doesn't think the body's back there. Yeah, that's like the most iconic
he calls
shot.
him a you bastard.
Yeah.
And he's like, huh?
Such a great scene. Such a great shot. That is the iconic shot. They included that on all the like posters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was the ultimate image there with that body coming up behind him. But yeah, no, that John Nolan guy, the special effects dude, I know he worked on Critters,
Oh, another great.
but he also worked on
who's the mom in that?
Critters. D. Wallace.
Wow.
Yeah. God, where's John Nolan? I know he worked on Critters, but
is he in heaven?
No, he's still alive.
Oh, here it is.
John Carl Buechler died though. Huh?
This is where he finds all the Polaroids, the hair.
That's right. Yeah.
Clothing.
Yeah, I forgot about the hair until you brought that up.
Yeah, dude was a creeper.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't have her panties or something.
No, he just had a kilt. They look like kilt colors.
Yeah, Maniac Cop was the other movie that John Nolan worked on.
Oh, dude, that's another good one.
Yeah. Yep.
Maniac Cop 2, a great sequel.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to talk ill of other movies. Dude's like, she's like, Dad, and he's like, oh.
And I like how at the end of the movie, he kind of comes back.
Well, yeah. Well, what's his name can communicate with him and shit, and then yeah, you're right.
He feels bad for his daughter. Remember
he protects her.
Yeah. Yeah, Barbara Crampton. She made that comeback with You're Next, and now she's like, dude, she's nonstop. She just came out with that new movie, Jacob's Wife, with her and Larry Fessenden.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'll have to look for that one.
It just came out. You need to buy it. Buy it.
No.
What was the last thing Jeffrey Combs did? I mean, does he even really... I don't want to say he's retired, but...
No, he's...
Seems like I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
I bet we'll be surprised.
Probably.
I'll take a gander at that goose.
Dude cleaned him out, man. That whole fucking basement.
Yeah. And he shattered. They took my serum.
Oh, supposedly Jeffrey Combs hated that line right there. That line.
I could agree with him.
That line where he says, he took my serum, except for what I have upstairs. Jeffrey Combs was like, nobody would fucking say that.
Okay, so dude's been working. He's got The Gathering, Edgar Allan. He plays Edgar Allan Poe in development. Some other thing, a horribly slow murder with extremely insufficient weapon.
He would play a perfect Poe.
And then he's got 2 things in production. Enough Sleep, he plays a Henry, and then there's one called Stream, and he plays Mr. Lockwood. So he's pretty much got 4 things, and I think he was doing his own solo Broadway tour of playing Edgar Allan Poe, but not a lot of people grabbed onto it. That's what he was talking about on, if I can remember correctly, on Joe Bob. He was trying to do his own.
Right, because you said he was on Joe Bob, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I bet that Edgar Allan Poe thing where he's playing Edgar Allan Poe that's in development right now is probably his
Is that him? Did he create the story or?
Don't get me wrong.
Or is he just acts in it?
I want to say it's him and probably whoever he's close with. Shit, I don't know. As far as I know, if it's his thing, he was trying to even get people to book it and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's at least a producer or something on it.
Yeah.
But fuck, don't get me lying. I just know he was involved in it. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I was reading where Jeffrey Combs had to feed him cigarettes and shit,
during takes.
In between shots. This guy was apparently a smoker, and Jeffrey Combs would have to just come up to him and give him his cigarettes because he couldn't move.
Dude he jabs himself, and he's like, "Okay, that's not what I need." I like how they did this. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, the brain does need blood.
Yeah. It's a fucking it's a drug to him too, though. The serum.
He's like, idiot.
Yes.
And the music they play right here is really comical.
It's comical, yeah.
almost like Looney Tunes in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know why I came to that.
No, it is. It's cartoony. It's fun. It's like zany.
We are now seeing his O face.
Yeah. I can't believe dude's wife, and that was confirmed by Stuart Gordon that his wife divorced him just from doing the fucking eating the pussy scene.
And she probably wasn't even really naked down there.
No, she was.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had to get his head really close to it. Like, I mean,
but you don't think they had like some kind of myrrh or like some kind of like something blocking it?
Barbara Crampton took it all off, and she
wow.
told Stuart Gordon, she was like, "You can film my naked body for 4 seconds. That's not a second longer." Apparently, that was the thing. 4 or 5 seconds, and then she was done. But to get that shot, yeah, I mean,
is it 4 or 5 seconds a take, or 4 or 5 seconds in one take?
Probably, I think 4 or 5 seconds for her whole body was the deal. But now I don't know, because I just know that the shot looks real. Now I don't think of course he really didn't go down on her, but his head obviously was in between her legs.
He was seeing it.
Yeah.
And his wife didn't want any of that.
Yeah, and his wife was like, "How dare you?"
You think she was jealous?
Yeah, clearly.
Duh. Why are you even asking that?
Yeah. And
this is pretty neat when you realize that he can connect and control them.
Yeah.
That really comes in big in the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of like it's not really foreshadowing, but it's kind of like it hints at it here in the first one, but
well, he tells him to go find him.
Yeah.
Go get your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
This shit right here kind of had me rolling.
Yeah.
Dude's looking like a booty magazine.
He doesn't even look at him.
Mm-mm. The fucking thing. This is like something you would see in Mars Attacks.
Barbara Crampton brought up a good point too. She was like, "Well, if he could get that fucking head on, why couldn't he put his real head on?" Which I thought was a pretty good point.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's all about the look and the joke.
Yeah. They played it for the effect. That was clearly to get laughs. And it works.
Dude's like, "I don't care. I'm looking at my big booties. I'm going to go masturbate."
Yep.
Isn't that what he said? Or is that just me making up words?
No, I think that was really what he was supposed to do.
I wonder if this dude was really blind. Because it looks like he is. Like, they just blindfolded him. It was like, "Here, feel around. It's here in front of you."
They had him peeking out of the suit, yeah, or not the mask, but his head was coming out of the chest, or
Well, yeah, but in this one, I bet that's a mask over a head. For this one,
I thought I read that
oh,
was
really?
That was a prop head, and that
so it's still the same, pretty much like harness as the other body.
Yeah, because they that head comes off later. And they just like knock that shit off, but like, yeah.
Well, I would see that in that scene, but I guess what made me think that is when it's the body without the head, the torso's visibly taller. That just seemed normal.
Yeah. You're saying like for the different shots, they might have
right here it's
it might have been a mask, whereas in the other one it was
because the body dimensions look normal.
Right.
When it's the body without the head, the torso is wide and shit.
Yeah, it's like you could tell. You can see the body inside the body.
But it reminds me of a headless Frankenstein at that point.
Yeah, this movie totally riffs on Frankenstein. Like it.
Well, the second one's almost like Bride of Frankenstein.
It is, yeah. Which I need to go back and revisit that one.
I don't know how I managed seeing that one so many more times. So,
Well, didn't you watch it? Didn't it play a lot on Joe Bob or Shudder?
It was on Joe Bob, and then usually if it comes across my streaming service, I'll just hit play while I'm playing video games and shit.
And you also bought the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I have the Arrow version. I decided I'm just gonna buy Arrow, Scream, and maybe like those Vinegars and shit.
Vinegar Syndrome, yeah, they're a good label. There's a lot of good boutique labels though. Severin's another good one,
right?
And then Kino Lorber is starting to put out some good shit too.
Whatever happened to Code Red? Are they still around?
Code Red is hit and miss. They've kind of gone downhill.
Dude, I had pissed so bad.
But you don't want to miss any of this, do you?
No, I don't want to leave you alone. I don't want you to get scared.
I know. I pointed out, like, when you left me last time, I was like, it's like that fucking scene in Wayne's World when Wayne left Garth by himself. And he's like, I don't know what to say, Wayne.
Okay, well then. Here we go. I gotta go piss.
Damn it. No, I'll see what I can come up with.
What?
I'll keep these folks entertained.
You can come up with a lot.
Yeah,
You come up with a lot around me.
Yeah, I'll think about that fucking connection, that Barbara Crampton connection to Larry David.
Yeah, because now that you're going to only use movies, that makes it harder.
Yeah.
Because I did break the rules.
I may not be able to do it in 2 movies, but, I'll try.
I broke the rules, though.
Yeah.
I used a curve.
Yeah. Okay, so the Chatterer is taking a piss, and I'm going to keep you guys entertained as much as I can. Yeah, so we talked about fucking David Gale, who died, actually, like, really suffered an untimely death. I was reading where he died during, like, an open heart surgery, and he was only, I want to say he was in his 50s, maybe, but he was almost going to be in the movie Ticks. I think they had hired David Gale to be in Ticks, and he, he died right before they went into production on that, but yeah, Christopher Lee supposedly. Oh, here we go with the Barbara Crampton scene. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here. But yeah, this movie was almost shot in black and white too. I was reading that. That would have been interesting. Of course, it would have given this movie just a completely different feel. And yeah, like, supposedly Charles Band, the guy who ended up going on to, Full Moon Entertainment. See, around this time, they'd had a distribution deal. Stuart Gordon and Brian Usna, they had a distribution deal with Empire. I think it was Empire Pictures, and that was Charles Band's company. And he distributed this shit, and like he supposedly hated this movie at first, but now he like takes full credit for its success. But my God, look at those breastises. You're missing out on the boobs.
That sucked.
So yeah, the Chatterer is coming back here just in time for the
divorce after watching this movie.
just in time for the muff diving scene here.
Dang it. I was hoping to miss this one so it didn't get uncomfortable. Necrophilia. Wait, would this be necrophilia? I mean, he's reanimated.
Yeah.
But he's dead, right?
Well, he's the one doing the raping. So
it's necrophilia rape, though.
I guess this, yeah, I mean.
And her dad has to watch.
Yeah.
He watches his daughter get raped while undead.
Yeah, he has to like participate in it and shit.
Aww. But that's what turns him. He's like, you start to see the human element if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Has it gone to him yet?
It's like this strange, like, altruistic nature he has for a reanimated corpse.
This is why. This right here, he suckled the tit here coming up. That's why he got divorced.
Yeah.
He licked the tongue. He did it.
He licked the tongue.
Well, any which way, that right there got him a divorce.
This is just, I'm sorry, but this is a great scene. Like, this is such a fucking iconic scene.
It's
because
weird.
Yeah, because I can't think of any other movie that has ever done...
It's shocking.
Yeah, anything close to this. Like, when I was a kid, I knew what was going on, but I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
That seems longer than 4 seconds. You think that was one take?
Maybe. I don't know.
So he got more than 4 seconds.
It's possible.
Dude, here's the showdown.
Yeah, this is crazy right here, man. When they all just spring up.
Isn't that a weird, like, look how they, I guess, compose that shot. You got Dad over here feeling it.
Yeah.
Her there, him there.
Yeah, there's like...
He's also like a detective when he walks in there with the black trench coat.
Yeah. He's like, well, 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 Dr. Hill. I foiled your plans.
Yeah, and it's a battle of intellect, but he's like about to be like, oh yeah, I went beast mode with the serum.
Yeah. I love that fucking line. I don't know if he's already said it, but he's like, who's going to believe a talking head? Get a job in a sideshow.
Boom.
Man, yeah, crazy shot.
Dude, this right here would have probably freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah.
You also get it in, you're getting it in like what, lo-fi and shit. Like,
well, it was scary because I mean, I was having fun with the movie, but it was scary. It's like it's turning into a music video here. Like if they had played music over this shit.
So you don't think you didn't get scared really on this one? You were all like, "Whoa, this is fucking awesome!"
I was excited. Yeah, I mean, this to me was a lot like Return of the Living Dead. You know, scary but fun.
Oh, I probably wouldn't have had any fun. I've just got a bunch of naked dudes though.
I fell in love with this movie. I mean, it just like there was something about it that I just couldn't get enough of.
I don't see how anybody couldn't have a good time while watching this.
Yeah. Well, it was different. It was just so different from any other horror film I'd ever seen.
It takes a different turn. It even does, like, it was funny you mentioned Evil Dead earlier because it goes for an Evil Dead kind of ending.
Yeah.
Here in a second.
It kind of plays off that same type of humor, too. Like almost like a Three Stooges type humor.
Dude, there was probably so much swinging cock on set.
I know.
Because these dudes are just straight naked.
Yeah. Like I said, man, Stuart Gordon didn't play around when it came to that nudity.
I wonder if he had them in hammocks.
Yeah, this is when he, like, starts coming back, right?
Yeah. Dude's, like, burning a hole in his head.
Barbara Crampton, man. She, yeah, she's great, man. I hope her career continues to flourish. She is still a looker. Like, I mean, if you look at her now, she has not changed one iota. Like, she still looks the same. Same blonde hair.
So she's like Demi.
Yeah, just doesn't age.
Good for her.
Yeah. And for a while, I don't know what happened to her acting career, but, you know, in the early 2000s, I think she was doing, like, some straight-to-video stuff and maybe some soap opera shit. But, yeah, she completely, like, for years didn't work, and then all of a sudden she was in You're Next, and her career just made a resurgence, you know?
Does she have any kids? Do you know?
She's got 2 kids.
Did she maybe start a family when she was doing all those
That's possible, yeah.
cameos?
She was probably busy raising her kids, because her daughter is in college now, I think. Her daughter's a little cutie, too. She looks just like a little miniature Barbara Crampton.
I guess not an actor.
I don't think so.
Oh, this is so bloody, yeah.
Yeah, this is wild.
He's like, I've got an idea. I'm going to overdose him.
Yeah, and this is the part where the fucking, like, the tentacle comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude overdoses the body.
Yeah.
Which causes it to go on, like, I guess, steroid hormone.
Yeah, it's like
dude, the chest cavity blows open.
Yeah, and the fucking, like, intestines come out, but it's like this huge, like, Lovecraftian tentacle.
Yeah. Well, when it reminds me of that season of Ash vs. Evil Dead where the intestines come out and pull that dude through the asshole.
Yeah, yeah, that was weird. That show.
I mean,
fucking show.
I bet they totally got the idea of the intestines coming out from
probably.
This right here, man. This is wild.
Yeah.
It was unexpected.
It was. Because I always thought West died right here. When I first saw this movie, I thought that, you know, Herbert West would, like, this was his death scene.
And what is that? Some, like, poisonous gas or acid?
Yeah.
That was made by accident?
I think so. I'm not sure. But yeah, the crazy fucking scene.
Yeah, it was so unexpected, wild.
Can you imagine seeing this in the theater, dude? Oh my god.
Oh, it'd been rad. You don't see shit like this in the theater anymore.
You don't see anything in the theater anymore.
Yeah.
For that matter.
That chick has been naked this whole time, and now in that scene right there, her tits are covered in gore, and her belly is all ripped open.
Yeah.
But the whole time through that.
I like how when West is, like, dying, he's like, my notes! Take my notes. My legacy must live on.
This is man. This just makes me sad.
What?
The next like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. It shouldn't have happened. I mean, I like the ending, but
It's tragic.
It's a very dark ending.
Another fucking naked dude, and
Yeah.
like look at this dude, man. He has so much hair on him. He has so much hair on his belly. Dude's probably got the hairiest cock that was swinging around. And like, dude sticks his hand in his head. But look at that hairy belly, man. Dude's got probably so much fucking hair.
I'm not looking down there, man. I don't know what's down there. I don't want to see that guy's monstrous reanimated cock.
It wasn't very monstrous. It was like fucking what's his name in Hangover. But here comes a burnt cock.
Aren't they? They're doing like more of the psycho music right here too. That they're doing the shower strings.
And I totally disagree. This would have not killed her.
No. Yeah, because he just like chokes her out. But yeah, very upsetting because Dan is just like, he's so close. Yeah, this is some Evil Dead shit right here. I just see Bruce Campbell right there. This dude, he didn't really go on to do much after this movie, man. He was in.
I think he's still friends with Combs, and they even talk about doing another one, but like it's never gonna happen. They talk about it almost happened, but it was all political and shit, and then glad it fizzled out.
Yeah, I remember this dude from a movie called Tag in the early 80s, and then he was also in that movie Bad Dreams.
That right there, man, he could have been fucking in Die Hard. Look at that shit.
I know.
Man. He's wearing that fucking wife beater pretty good.
And yeah, he's married to all these famous women too. He was married to Linda Hamilton, which I think he met her on that movie Tag. That's probably when they fell in love. But I read where he like became an architect. Like I think he quit acting now. But yeah, they should totally team up for one more Re-Animator film. I'd watch it. I'll watch anything with Jeffrey Combs.
You know, it ends on how it opened.
Yeah, exactly. It comes around full circle.
It's just not a big girl now that likes to hide dildos.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, never mind. I'm not going to say that. I mean, what the hell? She might hide dildos, too.
You never know.
In her spare time.
This was back when everybody was probably doing shit like that on set, like just to have fun.
Oh, I just meant in her own personal time. She might like to hide dildos.
Never know.
Kane,
give it up. Give it up, Kane.
Dude, Dr. West fucked his life.
That lady's such a bitch. She always plays a really good bitch.
Yeah.
Stuart Gordon's wife.
I could totally see her being what's the crazy nurse from fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah,
Ratchet.
Nurse Ratchet.
Nurse Ratchet. But dude, I feel so bad for him. One guy tore him down, but also I guess he should have not started to, worship. You're not supposed to worship people and or be asphyxiated on one person.
Right.
And it cost him everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, that stinks so bad.
It's like, he kind of
twisted Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. It's like he sacrificed everything in his life, everything that he valued. It's like all his morals and values, like he sacrificed for the sake of science and research, and it was all in the name of Dr. Herbert West,
who didn't give a shit about him.
Didn't give a fuck. And now Dan's kind of, see, this is a lot like Pet Sematary, because he reminds me of Lewis here, where he's like, man, I gotta.
He doesn't want to. He's not ready to let go.
Right, and he's like possessed by the power of this serum, because he knows what it can do. So it's like he just can't stop. He's gonna keep doing it.
What if it's that one chance that she isn't feral?
Exactly, feral. Yeah. Yeah, and I like how when it ends, it just kind of sets it up perfectly for a sequel.
Yeah, but the sequel starts off so funny because they're like at war.
Yeah, that was part of the story too. I love how it goes dark there, and then you see the the green
Yeah.
glow stick shit.
I like the green thing is really cool.
Yeah, that was
glow stick.
Well, I think one of the first movies that ever used glow sticks for like that particular effect.
Michael Muscal.
Yeah, so that was Re-Animator. We're on the closing credits right now. Fucking great movie, man.
Now, I may have missed it because you were talking all kinds of names, but the DP, was he anybody?
The DP, man, I don't remember his name.
I'm not going to say there was anything great about how it's shot. It looks good, but it also looks like...
Might have to look him up.
Okay, so he's probably...
Yeah.
I don't want to call him a nobody, but...
Well, I didn't recognize his name.
Right, okay.
It didn't stand out to me, but that's not to say that he didn't work on, some other prominent movies, because he may have.
All right, dude. Well, I want to hear what you fucking got to spill.
About this movie?
Yeah, spill it, dude. Give me the rap sheet.
Okay, so we're going to go into our popcorn kernel review, and I'm going to go first, I guess. And, dude, I give this movie a fucking solid 5 out of 5 popcorn kernels, because this movie, to me, is the cat's fucking vagina. And I love it. I just, I love this movie. I mean, are you shocked?
I want to ask what it has that The Good Son didn't.
Oh, dude, you can't compare this to The Good Son. Dude, I'm about to fire your ass.
I can't believe you. I mean, I'm so surprised. I was expecting like maybe a 4.
No, this is a fucking perfect movie to me. Maybe I'm slightly biased. I don't know. I mean, I saw it when
this one absorbed your childhood.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I saw this and like I fucking came and my eyes like lit up with joy. And
you hit puberty?
Yeah, and I was just like, dude, I have never seen a fucking movie this cool. And this is, I'm not going to say this is the movie that got me into horror, but this is like what made me start seeking out underground horror films. And because this movie was actually really hard to find. Okay. And for years, I searched for the VHS, had no luck. I mean, this was back in the day when you just could not find anything unless you just wanted to rent it from the video store, which you could do. But as far as owning shit, I wasn't able to own this movie until early 2000s when it came out on DVD. So this movie, just for the longest time, you just had to rent it. And I wore the shit out of the tape because the only place that carried it was, Premiere Video. And
I can see that.
Yeah. But I really like the... I think the comedy for me, it works. Like, it's what keeps this movie entertaining. Because if this was a real dark movie, I don't think it would work as well. I think Stuart Gordon...
it flirts the line really well.
Yeah, and I got to give some credit to the writer, too. Stuart Gordon wrote it, but he also wrote it with a guy named Dennis Paoli, who worked with Stuart Gordon pretty much his whole career. And they wrote, like The Dentist together. Remember that movie, The Dentist?
What is it, The Dentist, or is there another one called like Dr. Giggles?
Well, yeah, but they didn't do that one.
Okay, but is Dr. Giggles a dentist? And it's...
I mean, they're similar movies.
I'm trying to think of the guy that's the actor.
Oh yeah, Larry Drake.
Does he have like a face? Well, they can't see this like this, but kind of big eyes.
Yeah.
So that is Dr. Giggles, not the dentist. Okay.
Right. The dentist was Corbin Burnson.
Okay.
And Dennis Paoli wrote that with him. Dennis Paoli wrote like Ghoulies 2 and
I mean, I like that one.
Yeah. And a bunch of other shit with Stuart Gordon, pretty much they had worked together when Stuart Gordon was in theater.
Okay.
And he wrote From Beyond, but I got to give credit to Dennis Paoli because I think he's the one who brought a lot of this morbid humor to these movies. I think that's what really works the most with this. And I love the gore. Supposedly they used like fucking 30 gallons of blood for this fucking movie. And,
I can see it.
And that was like real cutting edge at the time. Because this movie, to me, it reminds me... I don't want to compare it to The Evil Dead, but it reminds me of The Evil Dead. It reminds me of like Dead Alive. You know how they all kind of have that same tone to it?
What years were those? Were they around the same year, or did they come before?
They were actually, between all three of those movies, probably like a good 5 years apart. Let's see, when did Dead Alive come out? It was Peter Jackson. Fuck it, that was like 93. So it was almost 10 years after this.
Okay.
But they're just fun. They're gory. And what's cool about this movie is that it came out around the time where they were telling people, hey, it's okay to laugh at stuff like this. You don't have to take it so seriously and be grossed out. But, I like the like I said, the guy who worked in the art department, who had worked on The Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that Robert Burns dude, he contributed to this movie greatly. And I love Stuart Gordon's shit, man. From Beyond is classic, and the acting. I know we talked about that quite a bit as this thing was playing out. It's just like Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, even the Bruce Abbott guy. I feel like they're a good team. Like they all kind of worked with each other really well. And but yeah, like you said, Jeffrey Combs, he just steals it, man. Had it not been him, I don't know if the movie would have had like a glue to hold it together. He was the glue.
Mm-hmm. And he's the shining star.
Yeah. And David Gale as the villain, he does a good job. Dr. Hill kind of becomes his own iconic character in the third act, when he's the corpse. But it's just fun. This is a fun fucking movie. I don't really see any flaws in it. I mean, I'm sure I could find some, but I don't want to. It's an exciting.
Look at it that much.
It's an exciting movie, and I don't want it to lose any of that whimsical spark that it had, whenever I was a kid. Because, I mean, dude, I watched this movie all the time, and it just never really gets old. And it doesn't really. It's not dated in any way. I can't really think of anything that. I mean, you can tell it was made in the 80s, but other than that, it's like a timeless story. Right. And you can go back and read a lot of. I mean, look at how much shit is being adapted from Lovecraft's works right now. It goes to show you that a lot of Lovecraft's work is timeless, because I think he wrote this story in the 20s, and if you ask me, I think his work could continue to evolve. I don't know about that Lovecraft country or that shit, whatever you were talking about the other day.
Oh, I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah, I don't know how faithful that was to his actual work, but that's pretty much my review. I mean, I like the music, and I was going to say about the music, I forgot to mention earlier, I thought it was interesting how Richard Band had to contribute some of his own money to finish the score, because like he I guess he was behind schedule or something, and he had to pay himself to get it done. But
you mean he had to take a pay cut?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, had to use his own money. But yeah, it's really good music, good script, good direction, good acting.
I mean, the music can be good, but are you not a little let down by it that it is kind of like a Psycho-esque at times?
It used to be a little cheesy to me, but now I just kind of associate it with that. I used to focus on that a lot. Like, oh man, it's just ripping off Bernard Herrmann. But I don't know. To me, it's just become such a big part of it. I guess I don't think about it as much anymore. It doesn't kill it for me or hurt it in any way. But now, I was reading where Leonard Maltin supposedly, that was the one reason why he took like half a star off.
Oh, that's why.
Was because of the score.
That's my biggest thing.
Your biggest thing.
I don't have much to say about it because.
Well, let's go into your review, sir.
Well, I like it. I like Stuart. Fuck it, whatever his name is.
Stuart Gordon.
I like his movies, and it was weird going and learning his movies and realizing that there were some movies that I've seen that he's tied to. But
Robot Jocks.
I love Jeffrey Combs, and it sent me on a whole Jeffrey Combs thing, and he has a huge cult following.
Had you seen Jeffrey Combs before this movie, or I guess The Frighteners?
I had seen him in Frighteners, and
but you didn't know it was the same dude, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna, no. But I like the acting and everything. The cinematography is okay. There's nothing super
real
great,
standout, but
it looks good. It plays good. The comedy it floats the balance really well. But yeah, I don't like to give points, but I would give it like a 4.5 just because of the music.
Yeah.
I think
so that does kind of like cheese it up a little bit for you.
Yeah,
music.
Probably had you not told me, I wouldn't. But as soon as you put the facts out there, it's kind of like, I can't. Like if I hadn't realized it, but like when I sense it though, you're like, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
It's like your brain picks up on it, but it may not really know where it's coming from.
I see it now more as like paying homage to it, as opposed to ripping it off.
I get it. I get that, but it just made me sad.
Yeah.
So I pretty much give it a 4.5. I don't have much to say about it. It's just a fun movie.
Very fun. Yeah.
Great characters. It's a tragic story.
Yeah. Very well written. It's a very tight script. It doesn't have a lot of fat on it.
Has a lot of nice one-liners.
Yeah, yeah.
It does. Little, I don't know what you want to call them.
Would you say that like the comedy is the one thing that probably works the best?
I don't know. I mean, I see it, but a lot of time I take this movie pretty serious.
Well, yeah,
at times.
Yeah. It's just that I guess that's a highlight for me is the comedy, because I feel like a lot of horror movies don't balance the comedic tone very well, but this movie like executes it with like we were talking about earlier, like that subtle, just that subtle approach of not being too heavy-handed with it.
Probably because it's dark.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, it's like the subject matter is dark, but they find a way to make you laugh, as these scenes play out, and it's just so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh. But I notice some movies try too hard for the laughs,
Well, and they also they make you kind of like
Herbert.
Yeah, and but he's also so bad at the same time.
Yeah.
So, that right there, if they're able to make you like a bad guy, that says a lot about the story in general, too.
Well, yeah, because you start feeling... You do feel bad for him when his shit's being plagiarized by Dr. Hill. Like, whenever you feel like Dr. Hill's going to steal all of his work and shit, you're like, oh, man, not Herbert.
But, and then you also want Kane to break away from him, because like he's sucking the life and everything out of Kane. Yeah,
it's weird because you identify with both those guys and you can see both of their dilemmas. Like you identify with Kane because you're like, man, he's got to get the fuck away from this crazy dude, and to maintain some sense of normalcy with him and his girlfriend. And also you want to see him succeed as a medical student so that he can get married happily.
Chick will marry him. She's like, get your MD and I'll marry you.
Yeah, I'll fuck you once you get your MD.
Well, no, because he didn't have the MD at the beginning.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, but
they were just practicing.
Yeah, she's like, you fucking to get a ring around this finger, you're gonna have to become an MD. But you also identify with Herbert West though, like you said, because it's like, I don't know, you like him as a character so much, but you see just how sinister he is.
He's so bad, but
he has nefarious intentions. But it's like once Dr. Hill is trying to steal his shit, and then you're like, go Herbert.
Well, and I think the way Combs plays him makes him so also likable, because he's just a great character. It's a great character.
He evokes sympathy. It's like that scene where you see the tear come from his eye. It's like, oh man, there's a shred of humanity in Herbert West somewhere.
Shit, a shred. That's only when his shit's getting stolen.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with somebody dying.
No.
His best friend's like girlfriend's dad or anybody, but no, I give it like a 4.
I just meant that like he evokes sympathy. Yeah. It's not. I mean, we know it's because his shit's getting stolen, but that's all he cares about, though. That is kind of like, I guess what makes him human is the fact that he cares so much about his research and his work. I mean, he clearly dies for it, and he's like, take my notes. Here, here's my baby. Pass it along. But, yeah. Good fucking movie. I don't know what else I can say about it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm about ready to wrap this shit up.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen Re-Animator, please fucking get on it, because it's
I waited late in life.
I consider it a classic.
I waited late in life and thoroughly enjoyed it, and hated that I had missed it. So it's like something you want to at least experience once, especially if you're a horror fan.
And it goes to show you that it's enjoyable at any age. Like, you can see it late in life and it'll still be fucking awesome. But forgot to mention this, guys, but be sure to stab the like button and subscribe, and give us a follow, and
let us know what you think.
Suck our dicks, And
I mean, I'll let you, I guess, put a finger up my bum.
You can do whatever you want with us, guys.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, but
first though, they gotta like and subscribe. They don't get anything.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta stab the like button before you can get access to our taints and our buttholes. But that is Popcorn on the Macabre, and you've been listening to Dick and the Chad. We were watching Re-Animator from 1985, directed by Stuart Gordon. Get on it and learn it, know it, live it. Anyway, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.